Good afternoon, dear viewers. A very warm welcome to each one of you. Myself, Joya Khan, Ambassador of Change from GETI, and your host this afternoon. Heralding the dawn of a new era, I bring greetings from the entire GETI fraternity as we usher in winds of change with a little video which will not only give you a glimpse about our organization, that is Global Education and Training Institute, but will also present our constant endeavors and humble initiatives to sum up what Getty is all about. So here is our little presentation. I hope that we were able to give you a sneak peek into the Getty world and what it believes in, and that is the power of change. On this live forum of Detox, we are glad to share with you that we invite bureaucrats, policymakers, motivational and educational speakers from all around the globe as agents of change. So, steering this session ahead, I warmly welcome our esteemed speaker for the afternoon, Dr. Bushra Alvera, Assistant Professor, Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, Language University, Lucknow. She'll be condensing her thoughts on virtual teaching and learning. Ma'am is here with us on this forum with specialization in different fields like special education, educational technology, school supervision and administration, teaching of biological and physical sciences, and educational psychology. Ma'am also has an experience of teaching the undergraduates for 9 years, the postgraduates for 9 years. She has publications to her credit, which includes two books. She has published research papers in journalists. She has also got articles, chapters published in 14 books. She has attended 8 training programs. She has presented papers in seminars and conferences, around 32 in number. She has also organized around 10 workshops and conferences. She has been invited at All India radio talk shows. She has also uh, administrative duties to her credit, and has held various posts like the in charge of the Hindi department. She has been a warden in the girls' hostel. She also has been a proctor, NSS program officer, and first associate NCC officer of the university. Ma'am has also been very active in the field of story and science fiction writing for the past 10 years. Few science fictions translated in Gujarat and Bangla languages. She's got many publications in national level children and science magazines like Nadan. So, ma'am, the list goes on and on, and we are very happy with your topic, which is the need of the hour, and without which education was literally on tenterhooks during the pandemic. So I think this was the only positive thing about COVID 19, wherein online teaching, virtual teaching became the order of the day, and wherein many educational organizations were at first apprehensive to move to this forum because it was new to all of us. There were many challenges, many glitches faced. But when each one of us realized the importance and relevance of the same, we all got well equipped with it. And today, we can't do without virtual teaching. So, over to you with your topic, uh, virtual teaching. Over to you, ma'am. Virtual teaching
So
and
much.
learning.
Thank you so much, Zoya, for giving my introduction. And without wasting much time, I will start my presentation. Thank you so much. Uh, so, the topic of today's discussion is virtual teaching and learning. This the term the teaching and learning, it is very basic and we all know about the teaching and learning, but before starting our presentation I would like to throw light on teaching. So basically teaching is a process in which learner and the taught, teacher and taught, they both are involved, and it is engagement with learners to enable understanding, application of knowledge, concept and processes. Basically what happens, teaching and learning, it is a bipolar process. Here teaching is one pole and the learning is another pole. So we have to understand these poles to understand the future aspect of teaching learning. So here teaching is one of the most instrument of the education. Without teaching we cannot proceed in the field of education. So we have to focus about the types, the manners, the approaches of the teaching. Now come to the learning. So learning is a process of acquiring new understanding about anything that we want to learn. Knowledge, behavior, skills, even values and attitude all will come under the process of learning. And learning is not only formal, it is informal, it is non-formal learning. So there are so many forms of learning. And there is a relationship between teaching and learning also, as we all know that learning can take place without teaching, but without students, without learner, there will be no teaching. So there is a relationship between teaching and learning, and it is basically a process of imparting information. When we are talking about teaching, it is a process of imparting information. But when we are talking about learning, it is a process of receiving information and knowledge, and that causes a change, and this change remains for a very period of time, and that will known as learning. Suppose if you're writing in your examination and you have started pain in your hand just because of writing, this is not learning because it will go after some time. Okay, but when we learn any new concept and then apply and reapply it in different and similar conditions, that will called as learning. So teaching is a process, and it is basically concerned with giving feedback, and learning is basically develops by understanding the feedback. So it is a process that involves two poles, as I earlier said. One is teaching and another is learning. Now come to our topic, that is virtual learning. So As in case of traditional class, what happened, we have seating arrangement, we have blackboard, we have chalk, we have teaching aids, and with the help of these things we do teaching learning process in our classroom condition. But what happened in case of virtual learning? Virtual means we have nothing in front of us, we have to just feel it. So virtual learning differs from traditional learning by providing instruction in online medium rather than in seat. Okay, so what is the basic necessity here? The this process of learning carried out using a platform that is almost always internet based. So for doing virtual learning, we need a basic requisite of the teaching learning process virtually is internet. And many cases what happens, the virtual learning taught in virtual learning, what happens, sometimes we have real instructor online and it is in real time, but many times we see that we have recorded lectures available and we can listen them and study from them at any time. So basically what happened, there are two types of learning, two types of virtual learning. One is synchronous and another is asynchronous. Synchronous means happened at the real time, but in case of asynchronous, non-synchronous, what happened, we have recorded lectures, we have assignments and all these things. Now come to the virtual classroom. So we have talked about virtual learning, and where it happens, it is virtual classroom. Like traditional classroom settings, we people sit in front of teacher and teacher start teaching students through one-to-one interaction and group interaction. But what happened in case of this virtual classroom, an online learning environment is provided, and here what happens, one side there is a tutor and another side students are there. So here the participation of student as well as the tutor involves, and it is a shared online space where the learner and tutor work together simultaneously. Okay, so we have to work together for conducting a virtual classroom. In case of traditional classrooms, as I have already talked, that we have a blackboard, or you can say green board, we have a whiteboard also. Now we have marker, chalks, we have desks, benches, everything we have. But in case of virtual classroom, what we need a simple electronic gadget that can help you to do video conferencing, like laptop, whether it is laptop, it is mobile phone, it is tablet. So you need video conferencing tool. One whiteboard, that is interactive board, online board, it is also available in many apps. So online whiteboard for real time collaboration, so we can collaborate between student and teacher. And now the third one is instant messaging tools, so that student can ask their question to the teachers and teacher can able to give answer for the queries. And the fourth one is participation control. As we see in the picture that there is a screen, so this is a common, you can say it is a virtual classroom, and we have control buttons like mute button, we have emojis, we have graph for presentation, we have call connection, disconnect options, we have many more things. So this is the basic, you can say basic structure of a virtual classroom. Where this virtual classroom or learning happens, for this we need a learning management system, that is LMS. Okay, so virtual instruction usually uses LMS, that is learning management system. So here in learning management system, there is the provision of practicing, there is a provision of examination, submitting assignments, progress tracking, course collaboration, there is a interface for student and instructor, so and content available that is provided by the instructor. So student have the access to their instructor through email or chat, they can submit the assignment through online portals, and for evaluation these type of systems include quizzes, online tests, many more things. Now, as we when we are discussing about traditional system of education, we see we have many forms of methods of education, or you can say method of providing teaching learning process in classroom conditions, like demonstration, like lecture method, or you can say lecture come demonstration method. So what happens, the virtual classroom needs new pedagogical approaches and instructional models. So what are these? So, first of all, we see that virtual classrooms are very interactive, and there is a need of interaction, because if we don't interact with our teachers, or teacher don't interact with students, there will be no proper smooth conduction of classes, because there is a need of activeness. So there are so many methods through which we can do this activity, or we can have highly interactive class, like we can have small group discussions, we can have brainstorming sessions, we can conduct question answer rounds. So these are few examples of providing in high you can say highly interactive classes. Now, collaborative learning. So collaboration is needed for online medium, or you can say virtual classes. Collaboration means you have to come with your motivation. You have to be motivated for attending the classes. You should not be passive, and you have to give your best while attending or giving lectures online or in virtual classes. Now, the content presentation. There are so many methods of presenting content. So we can use PowerPoint presentation, we can use text, we can have images, we can show small videos, and other activities. You can say quizzes. We can organize so many activities so that we can attract the attention of the student towards the class. Psychologically safe environment. As we all know that we can attend classes, virtual classes, from any places, from our home, from our office, from anywhere, when where we feel comfortable. So in case of virtual classroom, we are in safe zone. We are at home. Basically, we are at home, we are at our bed, we are at our chair, whatever the place we need, and we feel comfortable. Now the question arises, why one should choose online medium, yeah, you can say virtual education over offline education. So as we all know, during COVID-19 we all compelled to use this medium of education, otherwise we lagged behind. Otherwise we lagged behind in education system. But other than that, we have so many plus points and advantages of online classes, virtual class over the offline education. So few of them we can discuss here. First of all, if we discuss about the cost of the education, so online education is very cheaper than offline education. It is almost 53% cheaper than this is the offline education, and it also saves our time, money, and energy, and it is very effective. And because we online education expands the effective information while sitting at home, we can use we can attend classes by using our smartphone. So it is literally very easy and very comfortable as compared to offline classes. Now come to the advantages of virtual learning. There are so many advantages. First advantage that we are seeing in this presentation, the student is sitting at his home, and he is feeling very comfortable. He has his pet with him, and he is enjoying the classes. So ability to take classes from anywhere in the world, this is the first advantage. And it is not limited to the class, colleges and universities. For example, we go we go to college and universities to attend classes for getting a degree, but through virtual learning we can attend so many classes to upgrade our health, upgrade our personality. We can upgrade ourselves, upgrade our personality also, without going anywhere, through using our personal devices. So, time and cost effective. This is also one of the most important advantage of virtual classes and online teaching learning method. Here we save travel time, we save money, that is we spend in commute, and save efficiency to work more, because we spend many hours in traveling. So when we save that hours, we can use this time to some other productive work. Efficient accessibility. So from a school student, what happened, efficient accessibility means here at any age group can attend classes, whether he is a small boy or a older person, anyone can attend classes from his comfort zone. Women, you can say marginalized group, poor people, if they have least access of the laptop, or if they have internet, they can attend classes from anywhere in the world. Opportunity to explore diverse culture. So when we teach, when we learn, when we study in our schools, we just meet to some people that are living basically in a particular area. But when we are using this method of teaching learning, that is virtual teaching learning, what happens, video learning helps to interact face to face with students of different culture and ethnic background. We can meet the people living in America, we can have discussion with people living in Africa, in anywhere around the world. So we can enhance our cultural knowledge, we can share our experiences, we can comprehend the sentiment and the values of the diverse people. Now come to the preferred courses. As we all know that with the advancement of these online programs, many institutes have come up with many more courses that are freely or on the basis of payment available for the students. So student can choose a course of his or his her preference. Many certification online courses are also available in India and abroad. Courses like MBA, MSc in sciences, and MA, MCA, BA honors, executive MBA, and many digital marketing courses are easily available in India in the form of MOOCs and many online courses. So, institutes like IIT Kanpur, IIM Bangalore, NIIT, IGNOU, Khan Academy, these are some examples of the institute that are providing online courses in India. E-learning is greener. So why it is called greener? Because when we do virtual learning or we attend classes through online medium, we don't need the physical form of books. We don't need pencil that comes from tree. We don't need pages to write that comes from again tree, and we don't need to use other appliances like cooler, AC, and so on, electricity. So there are so many things that we can avoid when we are preferring this form of education, that is virtual learning. Now we have discussed so many things till time, but what is the future basically? Is it possible to learn only online, or we will again come to this offline classes? But the solution is hybrid or blended education. So here you are able to see this GIF that is showing video assessment, gamification, handouts, hands-on, and conversation. So what will happen? The future will lie in hybrid and blended form of education. So we will take the good practices from the online as well as offline medium of instruction, and then we will blend it and make a hybrid and blended education. So as a majority of students, we all know that pursue their graduation, their courses through on-campus education, and they also prefer the additional courses through online medium. So that will be coming under the hybrid and blended education. Also, it can be clearly seen that many apps like Byju's, they are improving their teaching processes by using gamification. They're just not giving the lecture online. They just put the content in a video or present in the form of game in front of student, so it attracts the attention of the students too. So this method is gaining popularity and has been promoted by many other significant personalities. So at the end, I want to conclude here by saying this, that we are living in an era of digitalization. So we cannot avoid this online education because it is literally very good form of education. It provides so many advantages over this offline system of education. We have so many options available nowadays, and the process is going on. So in future we will have so many virtual libraries, and we will have so many we have also virtual universities we have. But over the period of time we will see many changes, positive changes will come in the field of virtual teaching learning process. So that's it for today, and thank you so much. These are the references from where I have taken some content to discuss here. And at last, thank you so much for inviting me. Over to you, Zoya.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Bushra, for condensing your thoughts in such an engaging and interesting manner. We can't deny the fact that our education system is currently evolving and for the better and is undergoing a drastic change. We are in the stage of transformation, and every day is a new day in the field of education. And virtual learning has definitely proved to be a panacea, especially during the COVID 19 period.
Exactly.
And I remember Nelson Mandela's quote, which says that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And no
Exactly.
doubt, my God, the way the world has transformed, it has
Yeah.
transformed at a very, very fast pace, and thanks to virtual teaching.
Exactly.
The entire world was shaken up by the pandemic,
Yeah.
and we really didn't know where to look, what to do. And this proved to be a real boon, not only for all the other private sectors, but I think for the education scene it was actually a blessing. And as you mentioned, that children are very, very safe in at home when they are, having the freedom to study from anywhere and everywhere. So,
Yeah.
in your presentation, you spoke about what is teaching, what is virtual teaching and learning, relationship between teaching and learning, feedback tools that are found in a virtual classroom, and you also distinguished between traditional method of chalk and talk with virtual teaching. And this is actually a very versatile platform where we are getting an opportunity to explore the diverse cultures that you so very rightly mentioned in your presentation. You also discussed about the synchronous and asynchronous learning.
Yeah.
Amidst all these things, spoke about instant messaging tools, LMS, that is the learning management system. uh, Virtual classroom needs new pedagogical approaches that cannot be denied. And you also spoke about hybrid and blended learning teaching. So with all this,
Yeah.
your thoughts have been very clearly defined and self-explanatory. We are very certain that teachers are definitely feeling very, very empowered in this time, because
Exactly.
it matters a lot when the educators, when they go to the classroom, they are well equipped, they have got the right tools to use, and they are confident to face the learners. Similarly, the
Yeah.
learners are also confident that, well, the information that's coming to me, they have a kind of an approach that is, they feel it's a one to one approach where virtual teaching is concerned. Uh, I think we need to focus on a growing mindset that is there behind this.
Exactly.
And children are learning more from who you are with the effectivity of how you are teaching. So, no, not only an educator is very well empowered, but we are finding that our students today are also very empowered in the present scenario, and we have a lot to learn from them. The importance of online learning and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges throw a lot of light upon the growth of education technologically, the startups, and suggestions for academic institutions on how to deal with challenges associated with online classes. There are several arguments, no doubt, that are associated with the online teaching. related to the accessibility, affordability, flexibility, learning pedagogy, lifelong learning. On the one hand, where we are seeing the advantages, there are also a few, disadvantages that are being placed on. So, would you like to take up some questions related to virtual teaching, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. So, thank you so much. My first question to you will be, uh, which teaching, as per your vision, is a better way of teaching? Is it a synchronous teaching approach or
Yeah.
asynchronous teaching approach?
Ma'am, in my presentation there, I have already told about this synchronous, where the tutor is available in real time. So it is similarly as in case of traditional method of teaching. So in my opinion, this is the synchronous type of virtual classes. These are the most effective type of classes as compared to non-synchronous, where we have pre-recorded sessions, we have assignments, we have content available online.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, now we are seeing that children, earlier we used to supervise them, we used to monitor them
Yeah,
of, limited screen time, right?
yeah.
That children should be actually monitored how much time they're devoting to the laptops, to their mobiles, to their tablets, whatever device they are using. But now this was legally given to them during the time of COVID. I think it was one of the best gifts that children could look up to, where they could always easily say, "Well, I'm doing a project. I have been given an assignment to complete." So, what do you think should be the actual screen time that a child should be allowed officially, academically?
Ma'am, your question is very good because now students are taking advantage of using phones, saying we are preparing assignments and we are preparing this and that, and they may be doing something other. So it is very difficult to manage this area, but there is a need to make a check on these things. For example, in case of pre-primary, the screen should not be allowed for more than 2 hours. For this middle classes, we have 4 hours screen hour, means we cannot allow them to use screen for more than 4 hours. But in case of higher education, we cannot stop them because in case of higher education we have a lot things to do. So we can check this at early stages but not at higher education. So this is the
Okay, so
basic drawback of
that was a
this.
very very valid point to be noted. That for
Yeah,
the younger ones, it's 2 hours at the most, and for the middle level learners, it's 4 hours. So
yeah,
I think dear parents and dear educators, all of us should keep a note on that and should monitor our children. Now,
yeah.
in line with the monitoring, we know that this technology has opened a whole new world of information for each one of us. Now, our
Exactly.
young minds are very impressionable minds, and with both the good and the bad, how do you suggest do we keep a track on what our learners are picking up? How do you think that the educators as well as our parents can monitor the access of the net, and how constructively is it being used by the child?
Ma'am, we have the as a elder, as a parents, as a teacher, we have the moral responsibility to see what they are using, and we have to take the history check also. Meanwhile, so there is some softwares available that can help you to check whether they are using net or they are using their assignment. So we can have that check also in YouTube. It is also available. We can restrict the age also. We can put it is 18 years or more than 18 years for kids, or not for, or you can say for adults. So it is very genuine point that we have to check them to avoid using you can say content that is not suitable for them.
Very well said, ma'am. Don't you think one of the things that can be also done is the availability of the net connect at home, where parents can put a check that the net password should not be given a child unless and until the parents are able to see how genuinely the child is using the net.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there must be, ma'am, some password for protecting, because now you see in TV and we have in television we have some child protection, so we can use that also in our broadband also, that they're not able to use directly without taking permission from their parents.
Yeah, yeah, that is, I think that is very, very important, so that a proper monitoring can be done. Ma'am,
So,
another
ma'am,
question.
that may be the in that will be the new normal to take permission for using broadband, like other customs and rituals, that touch your seniors' feet. You have to
Absolutely.
take permission for using this broadband also.
Absolutely,
In future,
absolutely.
yeah,
I agree with you that
yeah,
that's a new normal for the children
yeah,
to take permission from their parents and
for
go
use,
ahead
yeah,
with the usage of the net. Now, in this time, when we see that the value system is somehow deteriorating at a very fast rate, now through this virtual teaching, how do you think, as educators, we will be able to promote uh, virtues like patience, kindness, compassion, empathy, which are the need of the hour in our learners today?
yeah. And there are so many advantage of traditional classrooms. We have empathy, we have cooperation, we have the nature of developing the positive attitude for each other. But when we are talking about virtual classroom, it is little bit difficult from the part of teacher as well as students. In most of the time, student, they don't know each other while we are teaching online. They don't know each other because they sometimes they use push, put the name of their parents or put the name of devices, so though they don't know even the names of their classmates, their mates. So it is very difficult, but we have to try our best, and we have to organize small lectures based on values. So, for example, if you are taking class of 40 minutes, I think we have to devote our 30 minutes for this content period, 35 for interaction, and 5 minutes for interaction, and at least 5 minutes for inculcating values in the students.
Very
This is
good.
my
Yes, that's the need of the hour, because the
yeah,
teacher, it is up to a good educator to divide the class in such a beautiful way where the content is not lagging behind, where she's interacting, making the class an interactive class. Plus, she's focusing on the value system where she can, which will be a morale booster for her students. Thank you for
yeah,
that, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing that troubles the teachers as well as the parents, that the children, it's very easy for us just to switch off the camera and sit behind. Now, how does a teacher ensure that her student is present or not?
yeah. This is,
Participation.
yeah, this is very genuine question that I have earlier said, that these online classes are highly interactive, and you have to make it interactive. Otherwise, the student will switch off their camera and they will get to sleep. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to conduct classes in small groups, so we can manage them. For example, we can in traditional classes we have 1:30 ratio, so we can conduct classes for at least 30, or you can say 20. That will be manageable. So we can call the student by their name. We can ask, is there any problem? We can tell them to switch on your cameras. But when we have a large classes like 100, 100 plus, ma'am, it is literally very difficult for a teacher also to manage the class. So this is my suggestion. If we want to put the check on this, that we have to make the size of class smaller as compared to the larger one.
Yeah, that's actually needed, and so I think that message should go to all the schools. We
Yeah.
often hear that schools are merging the classes for
Yes.
online sessions because sometimes the teachers are absent, so on a virtual online class, they just manage or to merge the sections, and a teacher is sitting with around 60 to 80 students at a stretch. And I think that's a hard task for the teacher. It's actually a challenge where the teacher has to teach the lesson, see to the discipline and decorum at the same time, and above all, the participation of the children. So I think the schools need to take a check on that. and not, merge the timetables, not merge the classes, to ensure a proper and effective virtual classroom teaching.
Yeah.
And another question, ma'am, about
Yes.
the magic touch of a teacher, in the
Yeah.
classes when the teacher is physically present. I think the child feels, a psychological and emotional connect with the teacher's physical presence that is actually missing on a virtual platform. What do you say about that?
Ma'am, a few seconds back, I was thinking the same. We have, although we have everything with us, we have laptop, we have net connection, we have great teachers, we have experts, but the touch of that physical teacher, presence of physical teacher, that can't be denied. It's the ultimate, ma'am. Without the feel that your teacher is present in front of you, it is very difficult to convince a student, because when we are present in front of a student, they behave like that. They consider us as their role model. But online, it is very difficult to express our emotions, feelings, and convey them as it is. Yeah,
So yeah, that's a very, very important point over there. That means it cannot be denied that a virtual classroom cannot, no matter how far the technology is taking us, how
that is why, ma'am, that is why we can use this hybrid method of education or blended form of learning, where we can have the good practices of this offline medium of instruction as well as the online.
Yes, and so we cannot ignore and we cannot deny the fact that no matter how fast, we are moving into the modern world of virtual teaching, nothing can equate the physical presence of a teacher in the
Exactly.
classroom. That gives a kind of an emotional connect and emotional security to the child, where he knows if anything happens, I've got my teacher to look up
Yeah,
to. Thank you
exactly.
so much, ma'am. So, all I can say is the dream begins most of the time with a teacher who believes in you, who tugs and pushes and leads you on to the next plateau, sometimes poking you with a sharp stick called the truth. So, I think all said and done, virtual teaching has many pluses which cannot be ignored or denied, but at the same time, the physical presence, the physical classroom, the offline teaching also is equally important today. And I think the children as well as the teachers all are very, very happy and excited to be back in the classes.
Yeah.
Physical activities is another thing which is replaced if virtual teaching is going on. A child remains glued for 6 hours at a
At
stretch,
a single
according to
place.
the set timetables of the classes, in front of the mobile or the whichever device is he's using. So that physical activity is also taking a back seat. So it has its pluses. Virtual teaching and offline teaching also has its pluses. So we have to have a balance of both the
Balance. Yeah.
time, both the forms of teaching and learning process. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with
Thank you.
us and
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
putting in your valuable inputs, very relatable and relevant points. I think our viewers are going to take have wonderful takeaways from this, and our parents and educators will become a little more alert in tackling our young and ignited minds. Thank you, dear viewers, for being with us this afternoon, and thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Stay blessed, everybody. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Wow, very nice, very nice.